What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, Austin in China? Come at you live from the streets of Chengdu. Let's, sorry, not a great way to start off. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm very excited to talk to you guys today about a topic that I love to talk about, and it's how to have a good life in China, how to actually enjoy your China experience, because not everybody here in China, not every expat in China enjoys their experience here. So, we can talk about some ways that living in China is hard and living in China is fun. And we'll talk about ways to maximize that experience. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So, well, I guess before that, let's do a little housekeeping. There have been a lot of new people who have been joining my, a lot of new subscribers recently. So, welcome everyone. My name is Austin, Austin in China. I've been in China for 10 years, a little bit over 10 years, and I'm just here to share my experience. And, welcome to the channel, all of the new people. Happy to have you. Happy to have you. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to try and do a little bit, I'm going to try to walk a little more smoothly, a little more nicely, because, of the camera shake. And we're going to get on the e-bike. And we're going to follow this road behind me right here, which is Kehua Road. We're going to follow that south and take a look at southern Chengdu, specifically the high-tech zone, the Gaoxin area around the global center, which is the world's biggest shopping mall. So we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to just see how everything looks like. And, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you kind of know what my area of Chengdu looks like, and you're going to know, and you're going to be able to see this new area and just how different it is compared to everything else. I mean, wow, the high-tech zone, this new area of Chengdu is so different. So we're going to talk about that while talking about how to have a good time in China. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just start with the first point, and that is that you have to know before you come here. I mean, before anyone moves to any other country, especially a country so different from their own, you have to know that it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult. Let's just get that out of the way. And if you're gonna move to a new country and expect it to be super easy, then you're really, really ignorant. You're super ignorant. Because I mean, look, behind me, if you don't know Chinese, like if you don't know how to read this, you don't know what the menu is gonna say, you don't know like even the sizes of the clothing, you don't know so many things. It's going to be really hard, and that's going to be even with your research. Even with your research, life is going to be difficult for a bit. There is an adjustment period. That is a fact. There will be culture shock. Things will be difficult. So I parked my e-bike under this overpass here. So yeah, life is going to be difficult to some degree, and you have to know that it's going to pass. This time is going to pass. You have to know that. Hey, good morning, Sean. Hey, Pops. Hey, Dad. How's life? No, I'm using a 4G. I don't have a 5G phone. So, yes, this is a live video. Yeah, it's a live video. We're going right now. Right now. So, yeah, that's the thing. We have to know that when you move abroad, life is going to be super difficult for a time, and it will pass. It will pass. So if you, are worried about, will my life be hard? Well, don't worry. There's no uncertainty about it. Yes, it will be hard for a time. Sorry about that little bump there. My first, I'd say my first 3 months in China were the hardest. My first 3 to 4 months, because, I was just spending so much time learning the language. I was studying from about 6 a.m. until midnight every single day, just trying to get a hold on the language, because China is just such a. I find that China is a, based on my personal experience and the experience of my friends, like China's a really difficult place to live without language and without just doing your research. And that is sort of the first thing that I want to talk about, after this, is that you need to do your research. You need to do your research. Um, you need to figure out as much as you can about this place that you're going to. The sound. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure. Um, hey, hello from Brazil. Hello. Um, I would say also, so yeah, do your research, and part of your research needs to be your priorities. So, when you're thinking about coming over here to visit, or you're thinking about coming over here to like maybe move, you have to know uh, what you want out of your China experience. You have to know what's important to you. What do you really value? And is the place that you're going to fit your needs? Is it going to fit your priorities? So, like, if you want to, for example, learn Mandarin Chinese, you want to learn quote unquote Chinese, Mandarin Chinese anyway, you're probably not going to want to move to Hong Kong because of the proportion, like, of Cantonese speakers. Cantonese is the main language in Hong Kong. So yeah, definitely don't go there. Don't go to Wenzhou. Don't move to like southeast China. Don't move to Yunnan in the southwest, um, because the local dialects are so varied and so strong and so different from Mandarin. Don't do that. Move up north. Northern China is where you want to be if you want to learn Chinese. If you want to explore Chinese minority culture, move to Kunming, move to Yunnan, because you'll see far more minorities there. If you're there to learn about history, move to Xi'an, because Xi'an was the seat of so many dynasties. It was the capital city of so many dynasties, and et cetera, et cetera. You have to know what you want out of China before you come. Because if you move here and you find your city doesn't line up, or your job doesn't line up with what you want, then, well, that's kind of your fault. You didn't do your research. And it will leave you with a bad taste of China. It'll be bad. You know, um, so many people I've known here have left because they didn't do research on, what daily life here is like in terms of people's reactions to foreigners. Like, we call it like foreigner catcalling, like people saying like, oh, la why, oh, why Gorin, foreigner, 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 everywhere you go, especially in small cities. That drove some of my friends crazy. In talking to them, that was one thing that it was one reason among others that they moved out of China, along with them feeling like they couldn't progress within their jobs, and other things. And these are things you can learn by doing a little research. Um, so, you've definitely got to research. And this applies to jobs as well, not just culture and things like that. Um, People being taken advantage of by their workplace, or by an agency of some kind, by a recruiter, by this or by that, because people didn't do their research. I'm just going to say it over and over again. So yeah, watch as many like videos as you can, read blogs, read books, read as much as you can, watch as much as you can, listen to podcasts. And also, listening to a China news podcast is not the same as listening to a podcast about daily life in China. It's not the same as watching a video about daily life. So just because you're getting your political news, and you're up on politics, doesn't mean you know anything about what it's like to live in China. Like for instance, do you buy an e-bike in China? How do you use the map apps? How do you bargain? Where do you go to buy this? Where do you go to buy that? So um, research, research, or consult. I do a little consulting work on the side where people like call me and they ask me to help them do research, and then we call and we talk for about an hour, and I tell them, hey, you told me you were interested in this and this and this, and this is what you want. you know, this is probably where you should go, and this is what I would recommend. So I do that. That's on my Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/Austin in China. So that's something that I actually do. I can kind of help people with that personally, because I think that researching is the most important. And as someone who lives here, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of all that kind of stuff. Yeah, foreigners are allowed to buy property. It's not easy. I think you have to. I think you have to have a Chinese cosigner. I'm not totally sure on that because I'm not going to buy property here. Um, but it's something. Hey, watching from Brazil. You clicked without checking the title. Watching from Chengdu. Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Um, yeah. So there you go. There are many opportunities in China. Oh my God, it's so easy to find work here. Um, definitely, definitely, definitely. So right here is the third ring road. This is the third ring road here in Chengdu. And it sort of separates, in my opinion, it separates kind of real Chengdu from like the new Chengdu, like older Chengdu, newer Chengdu. And in my opinion, like where I feel like my Chengdu is within the third ring, because outside the third ring, the vibe totally changes. It totally changes. You get into places like the high tech zone, you get into the software park, you get into um, everything new. Everything's been built in the last 5 years or 7, 8 years. Everything's brand new down in this area behind me. Hey, Empowerment, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I was going to message you to let you know I was going live, but I forgot. Sorry. Watching from Malaysia, fantastic. Okay. So, doing research, getting back to it, doing research is probably overall the most important, along with knowing that it will be hard at first. Those two things, you have to know. You have to know. So there we go. So why is my video so clear? Because now I mean, one, I don't know if this is sarcastic or not. It looks great on my end of things, but I'm actually paying $50 a month to unlock 1080p streaming from StreamYard. So that's why it's so clear compared to maybe past videos. Here, let me flip this around. So yeah, um, if you want to have good streaming quality, you have to pay for it. You've got to pay for it. Okay, well, I'm glad that I'm not the only one who thinks that. Okay, I definitely. Whoa! Hey, Oh man, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I'm so sorry. Yasua Hanifi became a channel member. Man, big ups to you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining the channel. You are awesome. Yeah, the streets are wide and smooth. Yeah, for sure. That is one thing that's nice about this whole area, like south of Third Ring, is that everything's new. So the streets are new. The streets are new. And here, wait. Oh, let me get a better grip on my phone here. Okay. The streets are new, and that means that there will be less bumps. There will be less, um, you know, it'll be a lot smoother of a ride. So let's go. Let's go. So another thing, I mean, just to further emphasize doing your research, you have to know the pros and the con. Oh, I forgot about this bit. This might be this might be interesting. So yeah, this side, we've got this right here. So the thing about it is you need to know the pros and cons and be aware that the pros and cons of China are not going to change. Yeah, I apologize for the rocking back and forth. I forgot that this was here. Um, the pros and cons of China are not going to change in the immediate future in terms of maybe the air quality, for example. That's not going to change in your 1, 2, 3, 4 years in China. Because let's face it, most expats in China are only going to be here for 1 to 3 years, 4 at most. You don't have a lot of people like me or like Yvonne or like some of my friends who have been here for 10 years or more. You just those expats are so hard to find. All right. Okay, now we're down on the street. Okay. So, and if you're going to be here for 10 years or longer, you could see some of those pros and cons change. Like I've seen changes in the air quality. I've seen changes in the way that traffic is. I've been here long enough to see Chengdu's subway lines, like metro lines, like double or more than double. I've been able to see the growth of like WeChat, mobile payments. WeChat was not a thing. Smartphones had just come out in China when I first moved here. So, but, and that's added to my pros list. But anyway, like the cons are not going to change. Like you're not going to be able to have certain opinions on certain topics here. You're not going to be able to change people's minds about foreigners. Maybe you'll be able to change a couple of people's minds, like within your friend circle. You're not going to be able to, you know, affect Chinese culture. You're not going to be able to affect this country. You can only experience what it is. So that's the thing. Okay. Um, let's see. Wow, we got 8 comments. So here, we're just going to keep going. So, I think you might have noticed the ride is so much smoother here than it was before. It's so much smoother because all these streets are so new and it's really well manicured, actually. The horticulture is on point. The horticulture is on point. Everything looks great right here. So, let's see. Let's watch out here. Okay, here we go. So if we keep going along this road goes a long, long, long way. If we go along this road and we kind of look to our right in about a kilometer or so, maybe in 5 minutes, we're going to be able to see the Global Center, which is the world's biggest shopping mall, or we'll be able to see little peaks of it. We'll be able to see the high-tech zone and what it looks like. And you'll kind of see what I mean in terms of it being totally different from the rest of Chengdu. So we've sort of got 2 video topics in one: how the high-tech zone is different and also how to be happy in China. So, all right. So I'm going to pull over right here. I'm going to check a few comments. Yeah, there you go. So there's a couple of buildings right there. Couple of buildings. All right. People going about on their e-bikes. It's just after the morning commute. I mean, it is Sunday, so there's not a ton of people working right now. But here, let's see what you guys have to say. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let me check. Let's see. Ah, you are Indonesian. Yes, thank you for joining the channel, my good man. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're a man or not. So, man or woman, person, thank you for joining. Indonesian. Jason loves all the parks in Chengdu, and I would say I love most of the parks here. I do not like People's Park. I think People's Park is just not a good place. It's so loud. It's so it just doesn't, like, you go to the park to relax, and I just don't feel relaxed when I'm at People's Park. But every other park in Chengdu, I pretty much like. And I'm going to be doing a video about the best parks in Chengdu before long. Well, thank you, Habib. Um, let's see. Traffic, generally speaking, is better. Yeah, traffic has improved over the last few years. Definitely, definitely. Um, watching from Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so there you go. It is beautiful. It is nice. Yeah. Hey, Dio, how's life? They started the high rise zone around 2009, so it's been 12 years. Which I mean, when you compare it to Chengdu, which is a history of hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years, it is super fast. It is super fast. Hey, yeah, Walkabout is here. I love having Walkabout in the stream. Good guy. You don't know Walkabout? Go check him out. He's actually just invested in a cool streaming setup. So he streams. I forget when Walkabout streams, but he streams fairly regularly, at least once a week. So you can check him out. But yeah, he streams from home, and he's saying that these live streams from the street are better than a green screen. Well, I agree. I agree. I have enough mobile data. I have like 10 gigs every month, so I can stream kind of to my heart's desire out here. Yes, I am that guy who reviewed snacks. Cameras, are there cameras everywhere? I don't see any cameras right now. I think there might be a camera in one of those red lights. There's one on that street corner over there in front of that restaurant. I mean, yeah, there are cameras in a lot of places, but it doesn't bother me. Well, I mean, this is the thing. This depends on you. This depends on you and what you want. Um, this depends on what you want, what you need, and your priorities. If you want to talk one-on-one, you can find me down in the comments, and it's probably easiest to contact me on Instagram or Facebook. So yeah, and the thing is, let's see, we talked about this. Know the pros and cons. Know all this stuff, and also be picky with your jobs or with your schools. So if you're going to be working, be picky with your jobs. If you're going to be studying, be picky with your universities or with your language schools. You can afford to be picky. It's absolutely fine. If there's something you don't like, and even if it seems like a small thing to you, well, just don't go there. Don't go there, because the thing is, there are so many schools in China that offer scholarships to foreigners or who just accept foreign students, like to learn Chinese or to study a major. Um, See, you can see a little bit of the global center over there. We're getting into the zone. You see it's still underway, right? So my whole thing is be picky because you can afford it. Because and also you can apply to places that you think you don't have a shot at getting into. Because guess what? Like, if they reject you, if they say no, well, then you're in the same position you are right now. And it doesn't matter. So apply to places you think you have no business applying to. Apply to schools you think you have no business applying to. This goes for jobs and everything. Because who knows, the demand might be just so high that they'll take someone who may not have exactly what they're looking for, and you'll be able to get on the job training, and you'll be able to here's another announcement for the university games right here. Yeah. So there are so many opportunities. Be picky. You don't like the office hours at this job? Well, great. Go to a job that doesn't have office hours. If you don't want to work that much, don't work at a training school. Plenty of universities out there. If you don't want to do this, don't want to do that, you don't have to. Nobody's forcing you. Um, you can you can use some recruiters, I suppose, but I personally think it's better to contact schools directly. you know, do the work, do the work. Hey, the guy just said hello to me. Um, I love Chengdu. Yeah, it's funny whenever I come out and you know, film on the street. Yeah, people tend to want to wave and be in the videos. They're super nice. Um, yeah, absolutely. Whoa, the comments are blowing up. The comments are blowing up. So let's pull over here, get a little view of this street. And let me check some of your comments. Let me check some of your comments. So, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Does this look like the Chengdu? Yeah, there's a construction truck. Does this look like the Chengdu in the rest of my videos? I don't think so. It's a totally different vibe here. It's much more sterile. It's all newer. It's much more blocky. The grid pattern is much more pronounced in the streets and things like that. Um, yeah. So there we go. Let's see. Yeah. And the thing is about all of this, is this America or is this Dubai or is this China? That's the thing. I don't really like these zones here because they feel kind of soulless. It doesn't feel, uh, it just doesn't have a local vibe to it. It doesn't have a local vibe to it. Um, anyway, as far as I know, privately, you know, privately, yes, it is still. Well, the thing is, oops, sorry. Um, the thing about this is it depends on your work contract. If your work contract doesn't say anything about um, private work, then you can technically do it because it's not in your contract. And but a lot of schools do have those clauses where say you can't do anything on the side. So look, I just answered it. So okay, all right, here let's continue. Let's continue. All right, we're gonna head down this way. Oh no, okay. All right, so we're gonna head down this way, and we're gonna head towards. Let me check my e-bike battery real quick. Okay, all right. I gotta keep an eye on it because I need to get a new battery for this e-bike. It's I think yeah, this stream and back should be like Global Center and back should be about right. I know a really good spot. Park City. Yes, Park City. That is a nickname for Chengdu that I've heard. Um, but I've only heard that come up in like the last year or so. The Park City. Maybe it's a relatively new nickname. If it's old, you know, okay. All right. So, all right. I lost my train of thought. We were talking about how to have a good experience here in China. Um, yes. Okay. Learn as much Chinese as you can before you come. This is going to drastically change your China experience. I mean, in some cities in Chengdu, or some cities in Chengdu, in some cities in China, it's not super necessary to learn Chinese. Um, Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, those three cities in particular, those are sort of the three capitals of foreigners in China. So there will be a lot of foreigners, a lot of English speakers. Guangzhou, to a certain extent, definitely. But basically, any other city that you move to, you will need to know some basic Chinese at the very least. And if you don't know any basic Chinese when you arrive, it's only going to add to those headaches of, you know, moving. So you move to China, not only have you got moving stress, trying to find an apartment, trying to move all your baggage, figure out all your visa stuff, you know, figure out you've also got to figure out how to get from place to place. And public transport kind of needs Chinese to a certain extent. Buying groceries will need Chinese to a certain extent. Um, Figuring out the shops and what places do what things, what shops serve what function, to an extent requires Chinese in terms of reading uh, the name brands of things, or reading the names of the products, or reading the signs above the shops. and things like this. It all requires Chinese to a certain extent, and also verbal communication, understanding the numbers that people tell you. Because not every place has a cash register with a digital readout. So you'll need to know some numbers. You'll need to learn, you'll need to know a couple of things. So learn as much Chinese as you can because it's going to make life easier in every respect. Now, I'm not saying be fluent by the time you get here, but at least know numbers and know transactional Chinese. If you know transactional Chinese, that will make life so much easier. I'm telling you, this is the truth because you won't have to rely on other people so much. You won't have to try and find some student to help you translate. You won't have to like pay a housing agent, a real estate agent, way more money because they speak English. You won't have to deal with all this other stuff. Check this out. This is the Global Center. This is the Global Center, the biggest mall in the world, the biggest shopping mall in the world. It's absolutely enormous. It's like a bajillion square meters. Like it's so big. It's unbelievable, this place, the Global Center. All right, let's check your comments. Okay. Yeah, you saw that in your my other videos. Yeah, it just dwarfs other buildings. Like when I travel to the university from like the main part of Chengdu, the university campus I teach at is in a suburb, and when I travel, like it goes over a bridge that you can see this building from, and it dwarfs all of the other buildings around it. I mean, it's so big. It's so big. Like you have to get so far away from it just to get it in a shot. Um, you have, oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Um, so, oh, is that, yeah, I mean, yeah, James is being super annoying. Yeah. So, yeah, I think Walkabout is a moderator. So can I make Lily a moderator? Nope. Okay. So there you go. Yes, that's another thing. Yeah, rules are much more enforced now than before. Um, okay. Yeah, that is a big thing. So yeah, the global center is a big thing. Let's see here. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is another thing. If you want to, let's flip this around just so you can see the city again. You don't always want to be looking at my face, right? I just want to offer a little bit of a change of pace every now and then. Um, there we go. Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. So, I mean, that's an opinion. That's an opinion. It's definitely different in terms of being a foreigner in China. Just like being able to get over here and have a good job just because you're white, no questions asked. That age is certainly over. Um, and there are some other things that have changed for the negative, but maybe that's another time. That's for another time. Because I do genuinely think that the China experience is what you make of it. It is what you make of it, and that's what this stream is all about, how to have a good life and have a good time in China. And another thing I'm going to say is keep moving up. Keep moving up, keep learning, keep growing. The problem that happens with a lot of foreigners in China is that they find a job that they're kind of comfortable with, and they just stay. They just stay at that job, and then they feel like they're stagnating. They don't have anywhere to go. They don't have anything else to do. They don't have any other things to learn, they feel like, and they stagnate. And then they feel like, well, China is not as good as it used to be. It's not like that. Well, yeah, it's because you're stagnating. Um, there's a water fountain right here. I do not see water fountains very often. I am very thirsty. So let's here. I am very thirsty. So let's get a drink real quick. Sorry, it's gonna shake for a second. I'm parking the e-bike. All right. So yeah, here we go. Does it work? Does it work? Does it work? Let's see. Yep. Yep. Does not look like it works. Oh, that's a shame. I was really looking forward to that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right here. It says because of the pandemic, the water fountain is temporarily out of use. Uh, like if it's not convenient, we're sorry. Please forgive us. That's good. Well, what a nice backdrop for a water fountain. Um, so there you go. Okay. Anyway, let's. That's a shame. I'm really thirsty. I wanted some water. I mean, look at those flowers. That's it's very nice. I know a bridge that I can set up the tripod on, and we'll have a really nice view of this road right here and the global center. So let's keep going. If you want to have a good life in China, especially if you're going to be here for a few years, you need to keep growing. You need to keep learning. You need to keep achieving. And what I mean by that is if you're here and you're teaching, while you're teaching, get some more teaching certificates. Get a CELTA if you don't have a CELTA. If you don't have a TESOL, get a TESOL or a TEFL or whatever you want to get. Get a TKT, a teaching knowledge test certificate. Get a certification, get a teaching certification, get a teaching certification for your home country. You're from the USA, get an American teaching license. You can do that online. If you get that certification, like a teaching certification from the USA or from like the UK or wherever, and you bring that to China, or if you get it while you're in China, you can double your income. You can double your income, and that certification course will pay for itself really quickly. It'll pay for itself in half a year or less. I mean, I only just learned this a few months ago that you could, or like a couple months ago, yeah, just a couple of months ago, that you can get these certification courses and get your certification online. I did not know that. And I really regret not doing that, but it's something I'm looking into starting, uh, because that will give you that sense of achievement. It'll give you that personal satisfaction. It will, help you earn more. It'll help you establish you as a serious teacher, let's say, or get a license if you're, doing a different sort of job. Get a license for that job. Um, get certified to teach AP or IB, work at an international school, work at a university, work at a training school. Try all these. Here's a big bump. Sorry. Try all of these different career paths. Now, the opportunities are particularly abundant if you're a teacher, but there are still opportunities for you if you're not teaching. There are opportunities for you to get into management, into supervision. There's opportunities for you to get into human resources, into events, like event planning and event coordination and things like that. There's so many opportunities, and if you want to try something, just try it. It's no big deal. It's all good. Um, huh. Okay. So they blocked off this entrance of the park here. We're gonna just go around, I guess. Um, oh, it's so bumpy. I apologize because there's because people can get into the park, but they just blocked off the entrance. So there we go. So yeah, he's on his bicycle. It's just like this particular entrance is blocked off because, like, yeah, a big reason that so many foreigners leave is because they just don't feel appreciated anymore. They don't feel like they're getting their money's worth or their time's worth. Uh, but you can get that, absolutely. You can. You just, maybe you're just getting too comfortable and you experience diminishing returns. Well, you can experience that fulfillment anywhere. You just have to search for it. Everyone's searching for something. So, okay, that's enough on that particular topic. All right, there's some people around. There's some people around. Okay, let's pull up right about here, and then we'll we'll get a nice shot of this. Maybe I can set up the tripod and we'll talk. Ugh. All right. Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, loving this. I love this view. I love this view. It's so good. And I love just like, this is part of what's called a greenway. So this is a greenway, which is basically like a cycling path that goes throughout all of southern Chengdu, and it's really cool. It's a huge, huge cycling. Oh yeah. So here, if I do it like this, yeah. So it says, it's all mirrored. Tianfu Lui Dao. So Tianfu Greenway, so Chengdu Greenway. And you'll see this plastered all over these paths. And these are brand new. Some of these they're still not complete yet. They're I love it. Like the city's becoming a lot better for cyclists, and I appreciate that. If you cycle, Chengdu is becoming so much friendlier for cyclists. So here, let's see what the comments have to say. Let's see. That is the global center in the background right there. Biggest mall in the world. And it used to be the biggest, like, how would you say it? Like the biggest, like, single building in the world in terms of square footage. Like the floor space of a single building, like standalone building, it had the most like floor space of any. So that's a pretty cool little distinction. Wow, we've got 68 people. We've got 68 people in here. This is fantastic. There we go. All right. So let's see. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Oh, there's so many. Oh my God, there's so many comments. Okay. So many comments. I can't even, I don't know what's going on with all this homeless stuff, but whatever. Homelessness is a problem everywhere, but it's not, well, I'm not even going to get into that topic. That topic requires a little more nuance, and that's not what this live stream is about. So look at that. Look at that. But nice view. Nice view. Okay. Here. So let me flip this back around. Or no, I'm going to keep it like this, actually. I'm going to set up the tripod, and then I want to talk about maybe a couple of other points. We'll talk about a couple of other points. Makes me sad to see how the comments have just devolved. So, oh well. Walkabout or anybody else who's in the stream who's a mod, I'm going to have to start making some more mods. We're going to have to figure that out another time. It's a shame because I've had so many new subscribers in the past week. But you know, there's good and there's bad. There's annoying and really positive comments at the same time. So let's get into it. Because yeah, I don't want to get off topic. I don't feel like talking about this stuff. Okay, let's get going. Okay. There we go. Bam. There we go. Okay. So let's do it. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yes, I know that. I do know that I need to buy a gimbal, but I'm not going to at the moment because like a good gimbal is rather expensive, and I just don't feel like investing in one at the moment. Um, there we go. Okay, I will though. DJI Osmo is not. It's not the amazing camera that everyone thinks it is. Not straight out of the gate, anyway. It's not that great straight out of the gate. So, okay. Yeah, so I have actually been to that water park. I have been to that water park inside. You know, for a Chinese water park, it's all right actually. It's all right. There are a couple of things. There we go. that are annoying about it, in that like you have to wear like a life vest at all times. I mean, I haven't been there in like 3 years. I haven't been to that park in like 3 years, but it's yeah, it's okay. It's all right. Um, there you go. Yeah, that light show was only for Yuanxiao, the 15th day after the Spring Festival. So yeah, that was only for one night. I mean, they do have. Where are those towers? They're over there. Um, yeah, that I mean, there are lights on them every night, but um, well, because masks are not mandatory now, and most people are not wearing that. The the pandemic is over. Like the pandemic's over here, pretty much. Like you don't need to wear a mask here. So here we go. So another thing that I do want to mention in terms of having a good life in China is you need to accept the fact that you will not change China. You will not change China. That is just not going to happen. You know, you've got this country that's been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It's had its own, you know, unique culture, and you know these um, particular beliefs, and you know, and these particular demographics, and uh, like you're not going to change the way that this country is, and like the and if you come to China with this sort of mindset of like, you know, well, in the USA things are like this, and therefore I want to make things like the USA here. Like that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. You're, you know, and when you try to push those ideas and push those beliefs onto local people, you might get a couple of people who are like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe. But like you're gonna get a huge amount of pushback, and it's ultimately not a fight worth having, I don't think. It's not a fight worth having, at least in my opinion. You go with the flow. And plus, you came to China to be in China, didn't you? You came to China to experience China. So why come here to change it? I mean, that makes sense to me. When you're here, be patient with people. Be tolerant of other opinions. Be tolerant of other beliefs. Um, be tolerant of these cultural clashes, um, because they are real. And the culture shock, it is a real thing. You have to be patient, and you have to. Um, you see the water truck in the background? Yeah, you have to be patient, um, and understand that some things are just a part of dealing with life here. Like the fact that if you work at a school in China, it's going to be unorganized, the department is. Or if you are going to, you know, live in Chengdu, you should probably learn how to play mahjong, or you're going to be made fun of if you're a fat guy. People are going to make fun of you. People are going to tell you that you're fat. You got to be patient. You got to be patient and tolerant and understanding of other people's viewpoints, and understand that, you know, these people have these local people in China have a different background from you. They just do. And you know, you can kind of build in some nuance into maybe your circle of friends, um, but you just have to accept some things. You just have to accept it, and that's just part of. That was a water truck. Yeah, and I think that that is just a good thing to do, a good thing to know, no matter where you are around the world. But it especially applies in in a place like China, where it's so different from everywhere else. It's so different from, let's say, the USA or Canada or the UK or South Africa, or it's so different. And we have to know that yeah, we should kind of, you know, you can have your beliefs, but you can't force other people to believe your beliefs. Um, And like knowing that, accepting that, that's a key to, that's really a big key to know, um, like to having a good time here. Yeah, and you should have a thick skin. Yeah, like people in China, I won't say everywhere, but in most places that I've been, they have no problem telling you that you're fat. They have no problem with telling you that, oh, you have really white skin, or that you're super hairy, on your arms, or like these kinds of things. It is, uh, I mean, it just, yeah, it sprays water in the air, because like the thinking is that the water will spray up and like dust will stick to it, like construction dust or like PM 2.5 or whatever will stick to it, and then it'll kind of fall down and settle on the street. So yeah. So when visiting, yeah, I mean, it's the same sort of thing. You're going to hear the words la wai a lot. You might be asked to take pictures with people. You might see people like pointing at you and things like that, or just staring at you. And, that I don't think you need a particularly thick skin to deal with that. Like, that's no problem. Just realize that with most interactions here, they're not, even if you feel like they're negative, most of these things that are said are not said out of negativity. Now, some things are overtly bad. Like, I've been in places where like kids most of the time are super sweet, but I've had a couple of encounters where kids have said like, "Oh, garbage foreigner, la ji la why," things like that's overtly not cool, right? And I remember one time when that happened. Like it's happened maybe 3 times in my time in China. One time when that happened, there was a person, because it was in a village, one of the like elderly ladies who was sitting like just down the street within earshot. She stood up and started yelling at those kids like, "You can't say that about foreigners. These people are here as guests. They're blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh well, thank you." Um, so some people will actually self-correct for that, but you know, other than yeah, yeah, exactly. Thank you. A lot of these things are said out of curiosity and just genuine, like not knowing a couple of things. Like it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna put this down, and we're gonna keep talking about it. Let's see. So, just a quick rundown for those who might be new to the stream, who might have just joined. We've talked about how to have a good life in China, and we've talked about things like, how you have to accept certain realities, like the fact that it will be hard at first adjusting to your new country. We've talked about having to do research. We've talked about how you should know, the different cities. You need to research the different cities, the different lifestyles, maybe the different types of food and things like that. We've, you know, talked about how you should know the pros and the cons of living here, and that is part of doing your research. Like, not being able to have certain opinions on certain things, um, having workarounds for certain websites, or um, yeah, just certain aspects of life. You got to know that there are cons, like with the air. We've talked about how you can be picky with your opportunities, with your schools, with your um, jobs, with everything. You can be picky because the opportunities are here. We've talked about how you should learn as much Chinese as you can, reasonably speaking, before you arrive. We've talked about that. Um, and why is it wet? My backpack's all wet on the bottom. Ugh. We've talked about how, avoiding stagnation, avoiding, how to avoid stagnating, becoming stagnant here in China. You need to keep moving up, keep growing, keep learning, keep achieving. So important to keep that hunger alive. The fact that you need to be patient and tolerant and understanding of the cultural differences here. absolutely. And we've talked about how you're not going to change China. You don't change this country. Uh, for you that may be a pro, for you that may be a con, but that is a reality. You're not going to change the culture here. You're not going to change people's minds on a large scale, um, and that's basically it. Um, that's basically it. So now, let's see. There we go. Here we go. Well, thank you. I definitely I appreciate that. I appreciate that. What are you talking about? 你为什么这样说呀？我会说中文啊，这是一个英文的平台，这就是有关我的观众就是美国人、加拿大人、欧洲人。Like my audience is English speaking. Of course, I can speak Chinese. Um, like my Chinese is pretty good actually. So, just because I don't speak Chinese on a live stream doesn't mean that I can't. I used to live stream on Chinese on Weibo or Ezhebo or something. I forget. Yeah, it was Ezhebo because it integrates with Weibo. I used to do live streams in Chinese. I um I was thinking about picking that up again because I'm studying for my HSK 6, picking up those Chinese live streams again. But I haven't done it yet. Once the semester gets started, I might do that. Um, oh gosh, oh this hill. Come on, I've got a super slow e-bike, so I just want to get to one little bit over here in a second. So yeah, my Chinese is fine. I do want to. Oh well, thank you for coming in and saying this. Yeah. Wow, these are some kind words. These are some kind words being spoken here. I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, um, I definitely have this. I've always had this feeling of like if you're going to go to a foreign country, you need to speak some of the local language out of respect to the local people and just respect to the country. Like if you're going to go somewhere with a different language, you need to speak that language because I just feel like it's something that is obligatory anyway. You know, whether it's whether it's Indonesia or China or Japan or the USA or wherever. Like I just feel like that's a common courtesy you should have. Just speak the language that the people on the street speak. Because if you're not making local friends, if you're not speaking the local language, not consuming any sort of local media, then what's the point of you going? What's the point of you um, changing? What's the point of you going to a different country if you don't uh, learn something? So anyway, that's my opinion. Um, so there we go. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Finnish, but apparently it's okay. Well, yeah. Speaking of dialect is pretty cool, especially um, if you're going to be in a city with a strong dialect, or if you're going to stay in that city for a long time. Then yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, there you go. Let's see. There we go. Well, yeah. Well, okay. Well, good for you. All right. Okay. Cantonese. I would call Cantonese a language. Yeah. I wouldn't even say Cantonese is really a dialect. It's definitely like Cantonese is a language. Yeah. If you're in like southern Guangdong or if you're in Hong Kong, well, yeah, definitely pick up some Cantonese. Definitely learn Cantonese. It's gonna be especially if you're in Hong Kong, Cantonese is going to be far more useful, and it will ingratiate you to the locals far more than Mandarin will. So, yeah, whatever language you pick up, definitely varies from city to city for sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm about done. About done. You know, we can take a different route actually, because I'm going to head back towards home, and yeah, we'll take a different route so you can see a different side of the global center because we came down on the east side of the global center. We'll go from the west side and just kind of see what that side of it looks like. And yeah, let's go. So this, I forgot the name of this park. Oh crap. Is it Guishi Gongyan? I forget the name of it, but it's a really nice park. It's very expansive. Me and my friends used to play frisbee golf out here. Actually, I think they still do on occasion. Um, but yeah, it's a bit too cold for me at the moment, and I don't have a ton of time. But yeah, they used to play frisbee golf out here because of the hills, and there are lots of open spots that don't have so many trees. Uh, great little park. Great little park. Oh, Jincheng Park. That's right, Jincheng Park. Yep. Thank you for the correction. Thank you for the correction. Absolutely. Oh, and one thing that I kind of forgot to mention that I think is a super important part of having a good time in China. I can't believe I didn't think of this and then make a banner. Is wait, how do I get? I must have missed the exit. Um, is you need to travel. You need to travel and see something different, you know, because it's super easy to get stuck in a rut in one city and to feel like all of China is this way. But, you know, traveling will open you up to so many new experiences. You could see the way that life in Chengdu is different than, let's say, life in, Ningbo or Hangzhou or Harbin or Shenyang or, any of these other places. You can see how life is really different. And you can see, oh man, how do I get down to the street, man? I got to figure this out. Yeah, travel, definitely. And you can see different perspectives. So like, I used to do those trips before COVID hit. I would do all these trips to ancient towns where you can get a perspective on, oh my God, I got to get off this path. It's too shaky. Because you can see like what old villages in China used to look like and what China used to look like back in the day, a really long time ago. You see these places stuck out of time. Um, and I feel that that's really valuable. Or you could see maybe a city has maybe more of a local vibe than the place that you live, or a place has a little bit more history, or a place is more cutting edge or more modern. That's definitely a pro for some people. So yeah, it just depends. You can get a different idea of China based on um, traveling. Traveling is really important. Oh, different foods as well. Yeah, you can get a perspective on the different foods that exist around here, different things to do. Um, yeah, so traveling is another thing. Oh my God, there is an entrance somewhere. I think they must have. I'm not going to say they because I may have just totally missed it. But yeah, oh, picking some stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, let's check out this little lake right here. This is a nice spot. This is a nice spot. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. There we go. There we go. Love it. Love it. Love it. Ah, this is great. Yeah, it's true. I possibly did miss the exit. Oh well. God, there's so many comments. Jeez. Okay. I don't know what people are talking about Guelo64, but this is not his channel. Um, and I don't want to talk about other YouTubers, at least not specifically. So let's forget it. Yeah, let's forget it. I'm not here to criticize other people or to talk about why someone else is right or wrong or whatever. This is my channel. And this is my experience, and that's all that I'm here to present. You know, I'm not here to talk shit. I'm not here talk drama. Let's forget about it. So yeah, but I do think Jamaica Funk is right. I think I did. So why are the trees white? Uh, so they're white because I forget who else said this, but like I know that on one hand it is sort of an insecticide right here. It's an insecticide. It prevents like worms and bugs crawling up to this part of the trunk, and then burrowing in and eating out the bark. And it's also painted for another reason. Someone told me in another live stream. I forgot what the other reason was. So I forgot about that. Um, cloudy weather all year round. I would say like once May hits, yeah, especially once May hits, it's gonna get real sunny. And then from like May to September, May just in Chengdu. Yesterday it rained. Last night it rained, so that's why it's gray at the moment because of the rain that we had yesterday. I've got to figure out how to get out of this park because I don't want to go back that way that I came. Oh well. Let me see how my battery's doing. Oh yeah, I gotta head home. I gotta head home. Let's see. I don't think this goes that way. Yeah, that hmm. Let's maybe there's so much construction over there. I don't think I'm gonna get out that way. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well then maybe you know, just because it's chopped. Well, I mean, they chopped off the branches because it was overgrown. They're gonna let the flowers come out a little bit later because I don't know if you can, but I can see little green leaves coming out and flowers on the on the trees. Yeah. All right. Here, let's flip this around because I wanna rest my arm a little bit while we're riding. Okay. So all right. Let's um let's keep going. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, and I can't even go up. Oh man, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. There's stairs. There's stairs over there, so I can't even take this path up to. I can't even take this path to get back out the original exit. So, yeah. God, this is such a nice view. I forgot. I always forget about this park. I always forget about this park and how nice it is. Here, I'm going to flip the camera around again. Ah, there we go. All right, there we go. Oh, that's interesting. The sound, my mic is still working. So, all right, yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say. I mean, we can uh, we can end the live stream here in a few minutes, I guess. I don't know. See, I've got 38% battery left on my phone. Lost in the Park. This is turning into the Blair Witch Project. So yeah, I mean, every stream kind of starts off with, yeah, let me talk a little bit about China, and then it devolves just into, I don't even want to say devolves, it evolves. It kind of it changes into let's chill, let's chat, let's just have a conversation while I let the camera go and answer questions. So yep, he heard me coming. He heard me coming. Ah, here we go. It's just plain nice. I'm having a good time. Um, Getting back to the original topic of the stream, though, I guess to just wrap it up before we're officially on our way out is, you know, yeah, there's pros and cons to living here, pros and cons to every country, and the responsibility of you having, I wouldn't say responsibility, the likelihood of you having a good time here in China is largely up to you. Um, it's largely up to you and how much work you put in before you come. because, if you come here to work or to study, the minimum requirement is usually a year. If you're going to be actually like full on studying, the minimum is going to be a year in China. And I feel like it's worth taking a few weeks, like weeks, if not a couple of months, to really do some research and really understand what you're getting yourself into. It's worth that. This used to be an exit to the park, and now it's not. It's worth taking all that time and reading all those books and doing all that research, reading the articles, combing the jobs boards, um, searching what universities are good at what the city experience is like, because all of these little factors add up into an experience, because not many people get the experience of living abroad. Like, moving abroad is a rare experience that not many people, get the privilege of having. And that's the reason why a lot of people why a lot of people watch my channel, because they maybe want to move to China, but they can't. They can't come to China because maybe it's too expensive, or they already have a life in their home country, or they're just nervous about it. Like, so, that's one reason I try to present. Okay, I'm gonna go out of this way. Yeah, that's one reason I try to present my channel in the even-handed fashion that I do, because I just want to be realistic. I don't want to say, like, wherever you are, pick up your bags and move to China right now. Well, no, some people might. A lot of people might have a better life in their home country than they would have in China. They're just curious. Well, great. But a lot of people are thinking, my life's not so great where I live. I'm thinking about moving to China. Well, okay, well, here's my experience. I don't know how bumpy this is because I'm not looking at the screen. But if it's super bumpy, wait 1 minute, and then we'll be off of the sidewalk onto a smooth street, and everything will be fine. Everything will be just fine. All right. Oh, and so about this right here, you can see the water, like this mist. This happens around construction sites for the same reason that that water truck came by. It's because the idea of the water can trap the construction dust, like all the dust that's being produced in this construction, and it'll stick to the water and then float down to the street rather than floating around in the air. So, that's there you go. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So here is the thing. When it comes to, yeah, this is a great little topic, actually, and one that led to me having a really great year, in like 2019 especially, and some parts of 2020, was sports and certain hobbies. Because you're right. Yeah, there aren't a ton of like sportsmen here in China, other than, I guess, basketball players. Um, it's hard to find enough people to get together, let's say a soccer game, a football game. But if you can find the right people, and if you get in the right groups on WeChat, like WeChat groups really change your experience here. If you can get in a WeChat group full of people who play sports, then there will be somebody who organizes a football game, a soccer game. They'll organize a basketball game. They'll organize, I'm in a group that does frisbee, organizes frisbee. I'm in groups that are about hiking and about traveling, and people organize different things about that. So, yeah, there aren't necessarily a ton of people who have all of these hobbies, but the thing is, they exist. These people exist. You just have to look a bit harder for them. And once you find them, then you've got a bunch of people who have common interests with you. And bam, you're on your way to having a bunch of fun doing stuff that you love to do. and that will dramatically improve your China experience. So if you remember my trips to Langmusa, I can't remember the tones, but you remember that. Like that's something I love to do. And Jeremy has his group, the Wild West Riders, that I'm a part of, and I'm going to go on another trip in May. We're going to go out to Western Sichuan and go out there because, yeah, I have common interest with those people, and I finally will have time to go do that. So yeah, sports, hobbies, yeah, you can find those people. It just takes a little bit more digging. It takes a little bit more digging. Once you find them, life is good. Life is good. All right. I'm gonna get to this corner. I'm gonna pull over, check a few comments, and see where the stream goes from there. So this road right here is called Izhou Da Dao, or I'm about to turn. Wait, is this Izhou Da Dao? I think so. So I'm going north, essentially. I'm going north, which is where I live, and we're gonna kind of we're gonna hit back on the third ring, and then we're gonna get back into the older part of town, and you'll be able to see how Chengdu changes as we cross over the third ring and all of that. Let's see. Yeah, tons of exercise activities in the parks. Absolutely. Tons of people doing Tai Chi, doing different types of martial arts. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Tibetan Sichuan is awesome. I agree. Oh yeah, there's the writing on the stone right there. Jincheng Gongyuan. Jincheng Gongyuan. That's the name of the park. I missed it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, cool. Not a ton of comments, but okay, there we go. Good times. Let's see, I'm down to 29%. So oh yeah, Minanhua is a big thing. Minanhua. It's also big in like Fujian as well. There's a lot of Minanhua as well in southeast China. Definitely. Um, yeah, and you'll catch a little bit of it. Well, I mean, I don't want to say that because I'm not sure if it's accurate, but yeah, there you go. Okay, lily pad is out. Yeah, lily pad is out. We're gonna have to do Renmin Nanlu another time because Renmin Nanlu is so long. It's so long, and it's a little. Well, I mean, I guess I can head over that way. I guess I can head over that way in a little bit. Yeah, oh, sure. Why not? Why not? So yeah, lily pad. I'll see you guys. I'll see you a little bit later. Yeah. So we're getting back towards the main part of town. The road's getting a little bit bumpier. Oh well. But yeah, it's been a good stream. I've been enjoying it. So have you guys been enjoying the stream? I can't believe there's 85 people in the stream. So I guess the upped video quality has really helped keep people around. They can actually see things clearly and maybe with a little bit of color. You know, me being on the e-bike makes things a little bit smoother than walking. Even though, yeah, there are some bumps here, especially as I get back into town. I will invest in that gimbal in the coming weeks. I have a sponsored deal that's going to come through in March, hopefully. I need to do a little bit of follow-up on it and see, but once that sponsored deal comes through and it gets confirmed, I will buy that gimbal because I know that I'll have that little cash bump and it's not coming out of my normal income, because like all of my like YouTube revenue, all of my Patreon revenue, all that, like that goes back into getting plugins for Final Cut. It goes back into YouTube. So, you know, that's why I'm waiting for that deal to come through. So, oh my gosh, yeah, you can definitely spot the difference in terms of how smooth the roads are. Oh gosh, so Mayo is saying Audis and BMWs are everywhere. Yeah, that's right. They are. Audis and BMWs, I find, are the main luxury car in China, like the main like import car. Hello. They're the main kind of luxury car here in China. It's a good status symbol if you have an Audi. Makes you look good. Makes you look good. And BMW as well. BMW drivers are the worst. I will say, I've never seen a car whose drivers are so consistently inconsiderate of other people than BMW drivers. Oh my God, I don't understand what the deal with that is. It was Audi for a little bit, and then it kind of shifted over to Mercedes for a little bit, but the last few years solid, the last 3 or 4 years solid, it's been BMWs. Those people are the worst, man. Those people are the worst. So here are those twin towers that had those light show that Empowerment was talking about earlier. They had a light show for the end of the spring festival, and there is a light show to an extent every night. Like those buildings do light up every night. But so yeah. Hey, there you go, Blogger BTS. There you go. Hope everything's going well with you. Um, well, some of them are rich. Some of them are rich. You have more people in China. You got 1.4 billion people. So, if you just play the numbers game, there are going to be more rich people here. So, yeah, a lot of good things here. No, there you go. Hey, John from New York. How's life? How's life? Hope everything's good. Where you're at. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna we're gonna just keep going straight north for a little while until we hit this third ring. And once we pass the third ring, I'm gonna head over to Renmin Nanlu, which cuts through the very middle of Chengdu. Like right now, we're sort of on the periphery, and we're in the high tech zone. Just showing you a little bit of what new Chengdu looks like. And yeah, we're going to cut through, once we get through the third ring, we'll cut over to Renmin, cut through the middle of Chengdu, and just see what sort of more, I don't know if traditional is the right word, but we're going to see kind of the more like the Chengdu that most people know and that most people think of. So, because yeah, when people think of Chengdu, they don't think of this. Like they don't think of these types of buildings. They don't think of the grid layout of the streets. They don't think of these kinds of designs when they think of Chengdu. And like to be honest, I live here. I don't think of Chengdu that way either. So yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. It depends on my battery because I am almost dead. I'm at 22%. I'm at 22%. And I don't want to keep the stream going forever. It's it's been going long enough. So, maybe at close to 2 hours or maybe an hour 45. I think an hour 45 is reasonable. So if we get over there, then fine. If we don't, then whatever. Now, I see some comments about like development and how the West can do blah blah blah. Like the reason that there's such a stark change between this part of Chengdu and the rest of Chengdu is because this didn't exist. This didn't exist 10 years ago. This didn't exist. None of this did. So they were able to just start from scratch. And they were able to build this from nothing, after 2009, 2010, 2011. They were able to build it from scratch. So like saying things like the streets in China are so big, well, that depends where you are. Like if you go to Chongqing, streets in Chongqing are tiny, and Chongqing is one of China's biggest cities. It's because like Chongqing as a city didn't develop with cars. It developed before cars were a thing. So it was developed with the mindset of like horses and uh, walking and bicycles. Well, maybe not Chongqing, not bicycles in Chongqing, but motorcycles and things like that. Like, well, like the streets are narrow, so like not everywhere has super broad streets. When you get into like a city center, I've noticed a lot of places in China, not everywhere, of course, but a lot of city centers have really narrow streets because they're so old and there's nowhere to widen the streets. There's no way to widen the streets because it's just not how the city developed. The city developed long before the advent of cars. Um, so they're sort of stuck. Some parts of Chengdu are like that. Some parts of Chengdu are just stuck with 2 lanes or 4 lanes. So yeah, it does all depend on where you are. But like this was only developed in the past 10 years. So they were able to compensate for cars because they knew that people were going to drive here. So they built it for cars. So I feel like that's fair to say anyway. Um, I feel like that's fair to say. Um, I see a couple of comments I that I do want to address. Yeah. Oh really? I didn't know that. Oh my stream's getting a little bit laggy. So yeah, it's easy enough. So the guy I mentioned him earlier, Jeremy from Wild West Riders or Bike West China. You can search that, Bike West China or Wild West Riders. You can Google it. He does trips every single weekend to different like mountains, different like areas to hike and things like that. You know, around Chengdu and around Sichuan. He does it every weekend. So yeah, it's possible. If you have your own form of transportation, especially a motorcycle. If you have a motorcycle, it's super easy. So I would recommend investing in a motorcycle and a driver's license. So there you go. All right. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around for this last bit because I'm only at 17%, and I think I am going to have to actually end the stream because it's like it's here, let me do this. Okay. I am going to have to actually end the stream because my phone is going to die very, very soon. I'm not going to be able to just carry on forever. So I'll just kind of, what do I do here? Let's see. How do I end this on a nice view? This is not a nice corner to end on, but we're going to have to. So I just want to take a minute and just say thank you all very much for watching the stream. I really appreciate it. It's been great having you guys along for the ride. And, you know, if you like these sorts of live streams, let me know and click that like button. And, you know, share the channel. The best way to kind of support me is to just share the channel and share a video that you like. And I would just really appreciate that. And yeah, there's Patreon and blah, blah, blah channel members. Do that if you like, but, you know, no need. It's just an idea to float out there. So I am going to end it. Thank you all very much. And I will see you all next time. How long have we been going? An hour 35. It's been real. It's been real. It's been good. I appreciate you. I love your face. And I'll speak with you again soon.